Thank you. I'm Chris Daws from Estrella Resources. Thanks for those listening in back home, and thanks for those sitting here with me today to listen to the Estrella story. And what a great story it is. Estrella Resources is an ASX-listed company based in Western Australia, and we're looking to explore a frontier land in Timor-Leste, where I've spent some considerable time over the past couple of years. Just the usual disclaimer, we have made a number of releases over the past few weeks. Some of that I won't cover here today. I do implore you to go to the ASX website where you can buy our shares and have a look at some of the latest releases. We have released some quite incredible intersections of manganese drilling in Timor-Leste for the very first time this morning, so it's hot off the press. So what you're about to hear today and the story of Estrella is something new, it's emerging, and it's significant. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a completely undrilled, untested frontier land, drilling high-grade manganese, some of the highest grade manganese you will not see anywhere else on the planet. Manganese that is pure manganese oxides with no deleterious elements. I can tell you not a day goes by that I'm not beating off the traders and the marketing people coming at this manganese. It is quite incredible. This stuff has low boron. This is what the Japanese markets are after for specialty alloys. You cannot get this material anywhere else but where we're looking today in Timor-Leste. We're also targeting a very significant high-grade calcite resource in Timor. We've discovered this by our exploration works covering the ground of some 650 square kilometres. This calcite is up to chemical grade calcite. We're looking at putting that into the Indonesian market for pH controls in industry. We used to be a junior sulphide nickel explorer in Western Australia, and we've decided if you can't beat them, let's join them. We're going to be supplying this high-grade calcite into the enormous nickel manufacturing facilities in Southeast Asia, in particular Indonesia. The commercial partnerships are already in place with REM for offtake arrangements in a master agreement. We're looking at 500 million tonne resource, or in excess of, and an export facility upwards of 100 million tonnes per annum. Let that sink in. That's the scale of the Northwest Shelf. Exporting millions, tens of millions of tonnes of product. As I said, it's a virtually unexplored region. It sits off the coast of Western Australia. It's easily accessible. It's in the same time zone as us in Western Australia. I've worked all over the globe, and I can tell you, working on the other side of the planet in different time zones is extremely difficult, talking to field crews and personnel and getting operations underway, and we're quite comfortable going in and out of the country with daily flights and completely accessible for our teams. The Timorese teams that we're training up there are expanding. Our group is growing, and we've got a very strong supportive government in Timor-Leste. They want this to happen. They want their mining industry to grow. It's the newest mining code on the planet. It was put through legislation in 2023 based on West Australian Mining Code. We're very familiar with that. We're comfortable with that, and we're working with the Timor-Leste government to implement that and be the first at doing everything. We're the first to be there. We're the first with the tenements to be issued with Shanana Guzmao, who I've met personally on a number of occasions. He's asked me to go and find minerals in his country. We're doing that. We've done that. We will go and mine the material, and we'll make Timor-Leste a beacon of light for their people and export this material and earn income for them, which they desperately need because the oil and gas sector is currently not supplying revenue, and hence why they've opened up the mineral sector. As I mentioned, we are the first mover. We got the first tenements. We're the largest tenement owner in Timor-Leste at the moment, with 650 odd square kilometres. I was in and out of Timor since 2008, 2009. I've been looking at Timor for a long time and its prospectivity. It sits between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia with some of the biggest copper gold mines on the planet. I can assure you Timor will be no different. There will be new discoveries of high-grade copper gold mines in Timor. There's evidence of that. We haven't got to that yet, but I can assure you our teams are looking for it. That's where we are situated. We're approximately 60 kilometres east of Macau with exploration tenure on the northeast coast. There's a lot of good infrastructure in place already with bitumen roads. This isn't the backwaters of Africa where it takes 6 hours, 12 hours to get to your project areas, logistical nightmares. This is a project that sits on the coast within 7 kilometres. We've got 53% manganese at surface and a port 15 kilometres away, sitting in Southeast Asia where the product's going to be wanted. This is a project dream for us and our shareholders, and potentially you sitting here today as investors. Within 6 months, we made a discovery in Timor-Leste. We've built out exploration crews, drilling capacity, diamond capacity the country has never seen before. We made that discovery and we continue to drill that out. That's what it looked like at surface. It's pretty hard to find when it sticks out and slaps you in the face. We drilled that, it was 8 metres at 53% manganese. Unbelievable, world class. The Nonny Formation has been identified as the host to this manganese. We're seeing a limestone calcite top that is preserving the manganese. The Nonny Formation extends over tens of kilometres. Every time we see the Nonny Formation exposed, we're seeing manganese or tertiary manganese exposed. This is just scratching the top of the surface. That's our first drill hole, credible material, lump and fines, 8 metres at 53%. We've released this morning further thicker intersections, and we continue to expand on the Urimiri discovery. It sits within one of our licence areas. There's a number of other prospect areas. We've got 10,000 metres of RC drilling and 3,000 metres of diamond drilling. Diamond drilling's currently being done at the moment. It's PQ coring. We've worked out the way to actually make good recoveries of the material. Initially, the NQ coring was not so optimal, but we've worked it out. We've worked out drilling muds. We've got a fantastic crew and team in H2O that are working away at that, and we appreciate their support. We're also moving into expanding on what else there could be and what other geophysical means we can do to make further discoveries. We're using LiDAR, we're using unique mobile MT, drone-based surveys, magnetics, all sorts of stuff we're deploying into the country for the first time to see what else we might uncover. As I mentioned, it's not the only outcrop that we're looking to drill or surface expression of high-grade manganese. There's other areas we haven't even got to yet at Sika and Salamari. That bottom right-hand photograph you can see in this slide, that little blue snippet you can see, that's one of our geologists sitting down the bottom. That gives you a sense of scale. 6 metres thick of high-grade manganese sticking out the side of one of the valleys that we've put one of our teams into. The limestone opportunity was something that we came across as we were looking for economic minerals. We looked at this calcite material and we assayed it. We were quite surprised with how pure it was, how clean it was, how high grade it was, and also how extensive it was. We believe the location of this material and the need for it in the industrial markets of Southeast Asia represents an enormous opportunity to supply a bulk commodity, low value, into Southeast Asia, and hence why we're now drilling this resource out with some vigour. You can see those calcite grades there in red, very high grade. The target area is at Wirramata on the northern coast, sits right on the coast. We'll build a dedicated port facility there to export tens of millions of tonnes. It gives you a sense of scale. 500 million tonnes is our initial target. We believe the resource could in fact exceed that in this area and along the northern coast of Timor. We've already, as I mentioned, paved the way with an offtake marketing master agreement with REM to market into the Indonesian market. We are looking at other potential partners for this material. As I said, being located in the position that it is in Southeast Asia and the quality of the product and the need for the material represents an enormous opportunity for someone like Estrella to jump on, and we've taken that with both arms, and we're certainly getting into it at the moment with the drilling program underway. The infrastructure and proximity to market are key. There's already a number of key infrastructure in place, port, road, power. We're very comfortable in, as I mentioned, with the legislative regime in Timor, the need and the ability for Timorese government to want us in Timor and wanting the mineral industry to grow. So we think we're very well placed as a first mover, and with the joint venture with the state-run mining company, Murak Rai, and our relationships that we're building up with the Timorese government as a first mover, the red carpet's been laid out for us. We're like kids in a lolly shop. We're running around seeing what other opportunities might exist for our shareholders. Our share price, since we've moved into Timor-Leste 2 years ago, was the right decision. Our market cap's grown to 70 million. I think we've got a long way to go yet. In fact, a very, very long way to go yet before we see the full value realised for Estrella and its assets. So I'll just sign off by saying we're drilling high-grade manganese. The limestone drilling's underway. We've got commercial partnerships in place. It's a virtually unexplored region, and there's going to be more discoveries made. We've got strong support from the government. We are well funded. I implore you, if you want to know more about Estrella and what we're doing, come and see me, have a discussion, have some further insight. But I'll leave you with this. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and go Estrella. Thanks very much.